still have a lot of the players. We've brought in a lot of great players that have been really good at other places. So we know that we have what it takes. It's about coming together now and finding a way to do that. We've had spurts here and there, offensively, defensively, special teams, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's about coming together as a team. Because in this league, it's not about good players, it's about good teams. And we have to do that, and we're going to have to find a way. We have a tough schedule, and we got to win now, at the end of the day.
That's it. You need more than just spurts. So the Chiefs, check it out, now looking up in the AFC and seeing 10 teams ahead of them in the conference standings. It's not ideal through 5 weeks. Nick, not quite how you had this game scripted in your head. How much trouble are the Kansas City Chiefs in right now?
Well, probably not as much trouble as I'm in, Jenna Wolf. And I don't know if you're familiar with, or if Broussard's familiar with, but I'm sure the audience is, that meme of the slightly balding guy looking kind of puzzling in the air, and it says, when the worst person you know makes a great point. That's how I felt watching this game, thinking of Kevin Wildes. Because everything he said was going to happen to the Chiefs is what happened. Broussard, Josh Allen threw all over him to guys wide open. And the Bills' social media team can mock me all they want. The story was not about Josh Allen being great. The story was how inexplicably and indefensibly awful the Chiefs were defensively in the first half. And then once again in the second half, the self-inflicted wounds were just indescribable. The pick six hits Tyreek Hill in the hands. The second pick by Mahomes was just a great play by a player I loved coming out of Miami, and Rousseau. That's a great play by him. I give him all the credit in the world. Right. But the Chiefs actually got some stops in the second half, but it didn't matter because the Bills did everything they wanted on defense. Forget on offense, on defense. And this is where the concern starts to become real, Broussard. The Chiefs' defense has been so bad that this was the first game where it affected the offense. And by that I mean they had easy short completions or easy running lanes available to them all night long. Chris Collinsworth described it and described it well. The Bills were running a very vanilla, very obvious defense. But the Chiefs wouldn't take the cliche, never go broke taking a profit. They wouldn't take the easy stuff. And I think part of that is because they had in the back of their head, our defense going to give up 7, so we got to go score, and we got to score quickly. And so Mahomes was bad, but I think that is an outlier. I'm not worried about Patrick Mahomes. But the defense was so bad that it started to infect and affect the offense. And now the Chiefs are in an uphill climb for the next 2 months to make up what they've squandered over the last 1 month.
All right, a few things here, Nick. And first of all, Jenna, I know one place they're not in trouble at is the tiers. Because they'll somehow, some way, the Kansas City Chiefs will find themselves ranked #1 in Nick tiers. I mean, 2 and 3 pummeled this weekend. They'll be #1. That's first thing. Secondly, Nick, I'm a bit offended. I get it that we're brothers in arms, in that I also picked the Chiefs to reach the Super Bowl and win it, and I'm not coming off of that. But I also win. I also have been telling you for weeks that Kansas City defense is a problem. And you're absolutely right, Nick. It is forcing the offense to press. I think Tyreek, you're right. Mahomes, I mean, the interception that went through Tyreek's hands certainly wasn't Mahomes' fault, but was Hill pressing. And how does he drop that ball? That's obviously a rarity for this defense, that it is taking them off their game. And you said, and I did agree with you on this going into the game. I didn't think Mahomes and the offense would be the problem. I thought the defense would be the problem. But yesterday it was both. And that's where, as you said, The defense's ineptitude is impacting the offense. Now, as far as are they in trouble, I still would say no. Because, number one, I don't think there's still anyone that thinks they're not making the playoffs. Yes, they're at the bottom of the AFC West right now, but they're better than Denver. The Raiders have come back to earth. And so, yeah, I think the Chargers will win the division and the Chiefs will get in as a wild card. And 7 wild card teams have won the Super Bowl, including, obviously, last year, Tampa Bay. So once you get in the tournament, you've got a shot, especially with a quarterback like Pat Mahomes. But the main thing for the rest of this season has got to be somehow, some way, first figuring out the defense and fixing that. Just getting it to the point where it's adequate, mediocre, it can offer some resistance. And then, two, Nick, the offense, as great as Mahomes is, as great as Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce are, they got to stop the turnovers. But, and you heard this all night on the broadcast, there is a feeling that what Tampa Bay did in the Super Bowl is the answer to the Chiefs' offense. Cover 2, keep your safeties deep, don't blitz. And Buffalo was able to get pressure all night long for the most part without blitzing. They did occasionally, but for the most part, they only sacked Mahomes twice, but they had him on the run. And he got some pressure without a blitz, and that is a problem for the offense.
So here's where I disagree with that, and I heard that on the broadcast last night as well. Buffalo tried this in the regular season last year, but that was when the Chiefs were the defending Super Bowl champions and rolling and felt invincible. And so they just ran the ball 50 times. And that's the game that you and I argued about last week. Was it a blowout? Was it not a blowout? And it was only 26-17. But if you, in watching that game, the Chiefs had full control of it the entire time because they could get 6 yards every snap of the football if they wanted it. So I don't think it's a blueprint as far as slowing down the Chiefs' offense unless the Chiefs' offense plays into the defense's hands, either by A, demanding to take the deep shot, or B, 4 turnovers again. After the Chargers game, I said I'm not that concerned about it because when's another time they're going to lose the turnover battle 4-0? Well, evidently the answer was 2 weeks later because they lost the turnover battle 4-0 last night. And I want to reiterate one point or make one point about the Chiefs' path. The Chiefs will, much like they did in 2019. In 2019, they lost 4 of 6 at one point, and in the midst of that, Patrick Mahomes suffered an injury. So that was the darkest before the dawn, right? Then they went on to win the Super Bowl. So the season is far from over. But in 2019, despite those losses, they still got the bye. They still had home field. The Chiefs have now almost guaranteed themselves, particularly because there's only one bye now, they are going to be in very unfamiliar territory come the postseason. They have never, under Mahomes, played a first-round playoff game. They will this year. They have never, under Mahomes, played a road playoff game. Every playoff game they've had has been in Arrowhead. They will this year. Now, I think they can rally and deal with that, but they are, you said it almost nonchalantly, it's a major development that the Chiefs are now in the wild card contention category, which, and I know it's only a 2-game deficit to the Chargers, but that does feel like where they're at, and actually they're playing at a level beneath that. And so it's going to be unfamiliar for this team, not getting a bye and going on the road in the postseason, something they haven't done yet.
Well, Nick, I want to give you props because you look good. You look together. Your hair is combed. I was worried.
I was going to say.
I mean, after watching the Chiefs loss a few weeks ago with you, I was really concerned, my man. And you got it together. You look okay. So good job in this opening block. I know it was a rough night for you last night. I'm sure tears all over your pillow.
I'm actually proud of you. As a friend and a colleague, I'm really proud. I didn't know which version of Nick we were going to get this morning. My dad literally texted me before we started the show, should I be worried about Nick? And I said, well, tune in to find out. And the answer is no. He's
I was in a bad way,
well.
Jenna. Jenna, I was in a bad way